I took the different historical time periods, ancient, medieval, American up to the Civil War, and then modern American, modern world, and American government economics. And in each of the books, I initially wrote all of the tools of the historian in each of these books with a teacher's guide how to use it. So week 1, teach this historical thinking tool, and then read this history assignment. Week 2, teach the next 2 historical thinking tools. And then at a certain week, then they would get an open-ended history question based on the content they're learning. So I initially wrote these and began to teach homeschool classes, and this was 4 years ago. And I asked the homeschool moms, at the middle of the year, how can I teach your children better? And so they said, well, we've been sitting over there in the living room listening to your classes, and all of us want to use this approach that you use when you teach history. And we're kind of just doing it on our own without you telling us how to do it. We want you to make DVDs of you teaching these tools so that we could use them. And then you should go to Ohio, where there are so many homeschoolers, and start promoting this approach. And so based on their direction, I created a DVD program where I am teaching the tools of the historian to a group of homeschool children. And all of the tools are taught. And then we take an open-ended history question. The kids do their research, and we have a discussion. And then for 1 complete year, I taught junior high ancient civilizations, and we recorded all of our Socratic discussions that are in this book. So a complete year of history Socratic discussions, so that if you were to get our curriculum and you were teaching one child, you would have the discussion, and then you could watch as I have the discussion with my 5 students. And that would be like your the answer key. Like, what are the possibilities? Where could this discussion go? So we videotaped 1 year of ancient, 1 year of medieval, and 1 year of American, again in the junior high series. Then I met Adam Andrews, who has his program with his wife Missy Andrews and their family, and Adam Andrews is here, Center for Literacy. And he said, John, this is great. I'm going to adopt this for my family. This will be my family's history program. But you know what? You're not done yet. You have to tie in which history sources the family should use. You can't expect someone who hated history or who never really paid much attention because they didn't like it or they had a bad teacher. You can't expect them to choose the best history texts. So then we did, for grades 6 through 12, tied these discussions with history texts. And so then we have a parent guide which walks you through how to teach this in 1 year. And you can learn these tools of the historian along with your children at the same time. So there's not a whole lot of preparation. Now, if you're teaching high school children, it's different because the texts are so thick. They're so big. Then it's more challenging. You have to pray that you've done a wonderful job teaching honesty. Because then when your children, when your 16-year-old makes an argument about the New Deal and presents a bunch of evidence, and you're not really sure if it's true or not, you could say, okay, show me the pages in the book where you got that information, because I'm curious. And that's a valuable thing for a student to do, to cite exactly where he got it. But it's challenging to keep up with the reading in high school. In junior high, it's not as challenging. The books that we have are fairly simple. Whether it's history or literature or religion, Maybe you've had an experience where there's a person in history who just seems to know everything, and he's the most boring person alive. And after 4 minutes, you tune out and you don't remember anything he said. And you could never imagine talking like that. You're going to be a great Socratic discussion leader, because your children are the exact same way. It's maybe 1 in 1,000 persons who love to listen to a very long lecture from someone who's kind of an encyclopedia. But most of us are not like that, and it doesn't promote critical thinking. So these are some of the materials that I showed you when I was holding them up again. I'll just go ahead and do that. So if you were to teach this on your own, we have a complete curriculum set for every age, from age 12 and older. That includes the parent guide that walks you through what to do every lesson. It includes the tools of the historian taught by me. The critical thinking open-ended history questions. And then it also includes the history texts and the primary source documents.